Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Behind the Dice, or Behind the Dark today, because we're talking about Shadowdark. These are some of our character names who may or may not survive everything that we've encountered. Who knows?
My character will definitely die.
Yeah, the next time you see me, it will be a different character.
So we've been playing Shadowdark. We played a few different sessions in different groups. Both Greg, Pat, and me have played as level 1 characters, or game mastered and level 0s. We played out some different stuff. Chaz, Colten, you have level 0 experience. So let's just talk a little bit about our thoughts about Shadowdark, and let's just start there. So, like,
how about a really weird, hard question? Would you consider Shadowdark rules light or rules heavy?
Oh, well, yeah, we can do that.
Do you consider light because all I've done is tap generate and roll d20s?
Yeah.
Ask me that question after I played like a 6th or 7th level character.
Yeah.
Okay, that's valid.
But I've never played more than like a level 2 character, so I can't tell you.
Because I actually am
you die a lot.
Yeah, I am actually curious because there's a fundamental difference between rules light and heavy, and it's not necessarily the amount of rules, but it's more about, like, I think strategy with an actual grid and board and stuff tends to be more rules strategic, and rules light tends to be more theater of the mind. And so my brain immediately said this is not rules light, but when you think about it, it is pretty light. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
I think it's rules light.
I agree. I think it's rules light.
Yeah.
I mean, with my experience, I think even at a higher level, I still feel like it can't get too overly complicated. I mean, there's just not, in a good way, enough things. Like, look at, for anyone who owns a copy of the game, this is where you can find it. He's going to put it down there in post-production. Look at the spell list. Like, it's not like other games where there are pages upon pages upon pages of spells, and there's not a gajillion feats, and there's not, so to me that makes it roll light.
Yeah.
Anything that has more than one shape of die that you roll becomes rules medium for me. Because you can be really rules light with your pool of 5d6s, and that's the whole game.
Yeah.
Sure.
But on a spectrum, if you split it down the middle to light and heavy, I could see this being light.
Yeah, I like that. It is rules medium, and I think that might be where I like things most as well in general. I would like if there was some type of skill thing, even if it was a bit like Daggerheart, where you just have experiences or something like that you could, justify your character getting a bonus to something. You don't necessarily need to have like hard skills.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's the only thing I could think maybe would be nice.
So what's to say you couldn't do that? I mean,
Yeah, sure.
based on your background, kind of make it hybrid and work that in. I mean, house rule it, where my character is a sailor, and so he has some experience with things that involve tying knots and swimming and climbing and things like that. So those are like his skills based on his background, which is kind of like Daggerheart, right? Like that's what your experiences are based on. And then as you level, you like get a new experience that you can, and then make it a minor, like, instead of it being like proficiency bonus goes from 2 to 3 as you level, and then 4, and then continues to grow. It's like you can choose to put points in it when you level.
Versus,
or just get an advantage.
Advantage, yeah.
Or advantage, yeah.
Yeah. What 100%. Were you saying, Colten?
Oh, I was going to say, like, a bonus equal to half your level for things that are relevant to your character.
But once you start doing, but for game balance purposes, once you do that, then you have to start adding it to everything, like the weapons you can use. Well, shouldn't you get that to when you do an attack? And so I like just the advantage. And if you take like an optional rule from DC 20 where you can stack advantages, stack disadvantages, you can get better and better at stuff, which makes sense. So you get triple advantage if you're really good at something later.
Yeah, I think there's room to grow it. There's a lot of third-party stuff out there. I haven't read it yet, but there's a lot of ones that expand classes, expand your races, that expand different options and stuff. And I feel like the next expansion of this, maybe not, like the next generation might be like trying to add in more long-term play kind of options. Because I feel like that's where people are going to bump into maybe in a couple of years where like, oh, well, I'm just going to this dungeon. I want a story or something. Kind of like D&D was originally location-based dungeon stuff. And then it starts getting expanding into more about settings and stories. I think they might do that with Shadowdark. If they're not already doing it with something.
Yeah. What do you think, Chaz? Is it the right amount of complication for you, or do you like it a bit more complicated like 5e?
Well, it's hard to say when you get a character with 1 hit point and die within minutes.
Yeah, the level 0 experience is how.
Yeah. That's I'm not excited about it or about what I've played so far, and don't take that the wrong way. But I'm just pointing out that I'm sort of just in the middle. I mean, this is fun. For me, it's frivolous because I'm not trying to really get into character and do a character for too long, because I know that character is going to evaporate pretty soon. So for me, it's all about having fun. It's definitely, from my perspective, rules light and simple enough to so that you're not getting bogged down with this 0 level character. You know what I mean?
I have high hopes for Tobe. I think Tobe's going to go on to great things.
We all have high hopes.
Yeah.
And then you get hit.
You've got high hopes. We've got high hopes.
No, but to that point, like
high anxiety.
To compare it to a system like 5e D&D, for people who are experienced with that, this definitely seems real light, right?
Yeah.
But we played recently in person with people who had never played a role-playing game before.
Yeah.
And they were like, so what can I do? And you're like, literally anything you want. Right? Yeah. And in a system like this, where you're not looking at skills that I'm good at, and what am I good at? This isn't a situation where it's like, what am I good at? It's do whatever you want.
That's true. If you put skills on their sheet, they would have stared at their skills.
They would have I'm good at this, so I'm going to investigate. Yeah. What are you investigating?
That's a valid point. Yeah.
Right.
And I will say those two that played with us for the first time picked up pretty easy. Like it was not 100%. A hard thing to pick up at all, and that's not the case for 5e. Usually it takes a few sessions.
Yeah, I would say the only other game I played where people picked it up as easy is Monster of the Week, because the playbooks just flesh out your character options a lot. But I would say that's even more complicated than Shadowdark, I think. Yeah. So
to Chaz's point about the level 0 characters, I agree. It makes it feel like more like a board game than an RPG in some cases, because it's just like you go there, you set up the game, you do it, you put it away, right? It's not like a long-term investment. So I think we are going to try an experiment here soon where we'll try to do a longer-term campaign maybe with Shadowdark with actual serious type plots and stuff to see how it goes.
I hope no one takes offense to this who is like true believers and fans of Shadowdark, but our group who started as a group playing 5e, and then when we had time to kill, we'd play Hero Quest, the board game for those of you who know it from the 80s and 90s. I got Hasbro, took my money, all of it, literally. And so we were playing that pretty good there for a while. And when we started playing Shadowdark, we're like, this is like if Hero's Quest was a role-playing game. Like, it feels like you're playing like you just said, a board game, but you get to, instead of being tied to specifically like I can move and attack, you can do a whole heck of a lot more than just move and attack.
And
it does remind me of that a bit.
Way better.
Hero
Quest definitely has a problem with spells. But
and the spells, of course.
Yeah, we should have it behind the scenes with Hero Quest, except just be me and Pat.
Yeah, well, I played it in high school, but
really?
that was high school. It was a long time
behind
ago.
The quest.
That was a few years ago, at least a couple of years ago.
Yeah, right. You've been 30 for a while now, right?
Yeah.
But like I don't know. That I think Shadowdark is probably one of my favorite games right now, but with the caveat that it does feel more like a board game type adventure right now than it does an actual like long-term role-playing thing. But that's also because we haven't tried a long-term thing. So
yeah,
which is why we're going to do a campaign starting at level 7.
I don't know about that.
You're running
Greg's
it,
like,
Marcus?
I, who's only done
He's like,
zero,
if you run it, sure.
I love early levels in campaigns.
Me too.
I
Level
like
3.
that
Okay,
feeling
so
of
how
growth.
about that? Since we're
You're
talking about
compromising?
systems, yeah. So I think we can agree, or at least this is my opinion when it comes to like D&D 5e. Like the sweet spot to start there is level 3, right?
1 or 2.
No, one
One
or
or
two,
two.
really?
I'm actually a fan of
Interesting.
1 too, but it's because I like the idea of starting from zero to hero, as they say, right? Like that path.
So I've DM'd a few long form campaigns, or one to completion, others are ongoing. And level 1 never lasts for more than a session. Like you bring in your level 1 characters, you meet if you haven't already met, you like explore some mechanics, you flesh out your character idea. It's basically session 0. You beat that level 1 boss, you go up to level 2. I don't keep you there for very long, but it's just nice to start. Level 1 exists. May as well taste it on
I'm
your way.
feeling that. I'm definitely feeling that. Like
Chaz
if
is
you
just like no level 0, please.
if you start at level 0 and you survive the first encounter, you become level 1.
You know what we could do?
Oh.
We could start at level
So I
1.
think Lakuth should be level 1 now.
Yeah.
It should be level 5.
we could start at level 1, right? And like mid session go to level 2. Like the first thing you do anything significant, go to level 2.
Mhm.
And then, next session you get to level 3 and then you can make it more long from there.
Yeah.
Power level.
Because the
Rapid
thing about
level.
Shadowdark is leveling up takes like 2 seconds.
Yeah. And it's random a bit too.
Yeah.
Even as a
Talent's
caster,
random.
I mean, you do get spells most levels, but
You'll get like one spell. If most classes will just get hit points, I think, at level 2, which is a huge deal for Shadowdark. But yeah, so it's super easy to go from 1 to 2. So maybe we could do that.
So yeah, and I think I'm very pleased by the Shadowdark community on our channel. Like they have interacted and been watching videos. So that's really great.
Definitely the most passionate community. Probably first or second to DC 20. It's hard to say, but they're both very passionate communities. But Shadowdark maybe a little more. I don't know.
Yeah. So if you want us to do more Shadowdark, please like, subscribe, leave comments.
Comment. Let us know.
Because we kind of did Shadowdark at first as just like a filler and just to see what it was like.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we really, there was buzz because of the Kickstarter, but I don't know if we thought we'd like it necessarily that much. And I think, at least for me, I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it.
And I don't think we were like, oh, we're going to start doing more Shadowdark. It just kind of organically grew like, maybe we should do Shadowdark today. It's just, now we're doing it a third time.
because like you said, it's so accessible. It's like, just open the box and play.
Yeah.
Is it just laziness though? Is it because it's so easy to like get ready for it?
It's the opening your phone and scrolling version of TTRPGs.
Shadowdark is a shorts version of RPG. That's so insulting. We shouldn't say that.
We should.
Rude.
But the emergent play style of OSR, where you can kind of randomly assign stuff, can randomly happen, does help with less prep, right? So I know, like I'm doing Curse of Strahd, and I'm kind of like, oh my god, I have to read 2 pages to figure out this character's motivation and what's going on here and how that connects to this, and it's like it can be a lot of work.
Yeah, nobody likes that like awkward silence when the GM is reading something and then they're like, oh shit, this is about to get real, and everyone's like, ah!
I probably shouldn't tell you this. At least don't go and check it out yourself. But Kelsey on Arcane Library YouTube channel literally has like a walkthrough, a quick like 15-minute walkthrough of every single dungeon she's released, which is super helpful. So you like, I just listened to it again before we started today. It's just like, it tells you the general things. All you do is read the nitty gritty here and there. Very
I watched
That's
that
super
for
cool.
Citadel, and that was very helpful. I love that she does it. She's very interactive with people, and those are really useful tools for people to GM it. So everybody should do that. Everybody
should. But don't go watch this one.
All right. I think so far we like Shadowdark. We think it's pretty rules light, and we're interested in seeing how it would do in a little more story, a little more long-term campaign.
If it can't do a long-term or story thing very well, obviously I'm going to lean towards other systems, right? Because that's kind of more bread and butter. But if it can, and maybe we'll add experiences like Daggerheart experiences.
Yeah, I might play around. Also, there's a lot of third-party stuff out there. It's kind of hard for me to navigate. So if you are watching and you think something would be really good for us, that's a third-party tool to use, because there's a lot of optional rules. Let us know in the comments, and maybe we can check that out and see if we can add it to our campaign or something if Greg likes it. So, all right.
Should we tell them about the giveaway?
Before we go, lest I didn't actually make this clear, I am actually having a fun time with this.
Oh, yeah.
I really am. So for all you darklings out there, don't get upset. I am actually having a fun time with this.
No, I know what you mean. It doesn't lead itself to that long-term satisfaction to build a character that you get into, but that's also because we haven't tried that. That's right. So
yeah, we haven't. But I think it could be done. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So
hopefully.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching this Behind the Dice or Behind the Dark. Who knows? But and check out
to survive.
And check
wish
out
us luck.
Yes, please send us your luck tokens, and and be sure to check out our Shadowdark episodes and see what you think, and check out this upcoming long-term campaign. Probably it's going to be coming out. So, all right, well, we got to go before our torch goes out. So, all right, bye everybody. Bye.
Good night, folks.
When the dice roll high, we touch the sky. But when they crash, it's a belly laugh. Genre play, lighting the way. Our tales unleash the wild rampage. Through horror's veil, we will not fail. In fantasy's realm, we take the helm. Our legend grows, never tame. Genre play, let's start the